Good morning and happy Saturday. Thank you guys so much for joining me about an half an hour, well, actually an hour later than I normally come on. Good morning, Kelly. I'm just a couple of minutes early. I know that there's a little bit of a delay, so I never know when exactly to start. So, good morning, Marcia. Got a couple people popping on here. So this last week was sort of crazy for me. I was at a conference in Wisconsin Dells. It was an educational technology conference. Good morning, Mary and Linda on YouTube. Um, and I was there. I had to leave at about 11 o'clock on Monday, and I was there until about 1:30 on Wednesday. And then I had a meeting on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, we celebrated my brother's 50th birthday. And so that was sort of crazy at night. And so I did not get a chance to start stamping for this until last night. And I had been up a little bit later on Thursday night. I had to get ready. I was the guest artist in a kindergarten art class at one of our campuses. And so we made little gnome cards that were dancing gnomes like the ones we did last week. And so I had to get all of that set for 48 kindergartners. So I had to do a lot of the cutting ahead of time because we only had a half an hour to put everything together. So anyhow, I did that late Thursday night. So when I got home yesterday from work, I just needed to crash for a couple of hours. So I slept a couple of hours, got up, and then I created a couple of cards. I just have 2 cards for today instead of 3 because then I needed to get to bed because I knew I needed to get my sleep. My sinus infection is pretty clear. I know I sound a little bit different yet. I'm having just like one side of my nose just keeps getting like stuffed up. And I don't know what it is. And if it's not better by next week, I'm just going to have it checked just to make sure that there's nothing else going on there. But I know everybody's been saying that this is lasting long. I have given myself so many COVID tests that I feel like I could do it for a living and be able to do it successfully. Good morning, Betty. You're in both places, Betty. Anyhow, I have tested negative twice a week, like for the last, gosh, I want to say it's been like 6 weeks or so that I've had the little bit of a nagging cough. So anyhow, I know I'm not COVID positive because I've had enough tests and I could have a second career in giving them because I know how to do it so well now. Anyhow, I wanted to share some happy mail. I'm starting to get some Christmas cards and some other fun mail. So I wanted to share that with you. I'll start with this card. Isn't this gorgeous? This is from my friend Katie, who is also a demonstrator, and we go to different events together. This one is from my Aunt Mary, and she said she had to search high and low to find something that would meet up with as creative as the one I have. This is like wooden. It's really, really cool. It's a dove, but it's kind of like a wood chip that's been cut out. And look at that, whoops, this side, that star. It's so, so bright. So thank you, Aunt Mary. This is from one of my customers, Kelly. Isn't that gorgeous? It uses some of, I don't know if you can see it in here, but this is some of that pearlized paper. It's just gorgeous. And then the gold glimmer paper here, stunning. Robin, who is one of my customers, sent a thank you. I think I allowed her to borrow some things. And then she also gave me this. She really loves gnomes. And she makes a whole bunch of different things with gnomes. Look at this. This is some cherry mimosa from Door County. And it's got a little gnome hat on it. Is that not the absolute cutest? So thank you, Robin. And I got this from my friend Becky. It's such a unique fold. It's not a standard size. What do you want to call it? Why can't I think of it? The longer cards. I get on this thing and I swear my brain goes dead. But it's a really different size. It's almost like a 4¼ by 5½, but it's not quite as wide as that. But the length looks to be about 5½ inches, maybe 6. So very, very cute. And then my sister sent, look at this. Those are her stepsons and her little step granddaughter. And then there are her kids and her granddaughter. And then on the back, there's her and her husband. And then this one dog right here, this is Lucy. That's Lila's buddy. Now, Lucy and Lila are very different. They're the same breed of dog. Lila's a mini, and Lucy's regular size. And Lucy loves the water at the lake. Like, she would be in the water the whole weekend if we let her. Lila, not so much. Lila fell in the water a couple of times and I think got scared. I thought they called it a doggy paddle because dogs knew how to paddle in the water and instinctively. Not Lila. Lila tries to swim like a human and get her big front paws out of the water. So we have to kind of drop her in the water with a life vest on. And then she starts moving her feet like this and she gets the doggy paddling. But if she just goes in, she tries swimming like a human. It's crazy. But anyway, Lila and Lucy will sniff each other up when they first get to the cottage and realize that they like each other, but then they leave each other alone. Okay. Denise, I just wanted to see what was going on. Anyhow, so anyway, Lila and Lucy get along great. Lila loves people. So Lila is, anytime somebody new comes into the room, she's got to greet them and you need to greet her or she will not leave you alone. And Lucy just leaves all the people alone. She just goes and sits, and if she can go, except for her master, Dirk, who's my sister's husband. She wants to be by Dirk all the time. But everybody else, she just kind of leaves alone. So they're different, but yet they're the same. I'm going to go ahead and give prizes. And then last week, I did 3 of the projects from my creative Christmas class that I did. And a couple of people asked if they could see the other projects. So once I turn my camera around, I will start with that. So first of all, for commenting last week and receiving our little boozy chocolate box that we made, and our gift card holder with our dancing gnome, which I made with kindergartners, and our calendar, those were our 3 projects last week, is Betty Rosenau. So Betty, I will get these off in the mail to you. And I think Betty, I don't know if you commented on both last week, but she's also on YouTube. So I do grab all of the comments from YouTube and from Facebook. So no matter where you go, you will get entered into the drawing. Then for sharing, so anytime you hit share in Facebook and you share it with someone, make sure that you type in the comments that you shared so that I know to enter you into the drawing, because some of you with your settings, I don't see it. So receiving a pack of these textural elements, which they look like little holly berries, which you could add to tags, you could add to gifts, you could add to just about anything. Receiving these for sharing last week, and I'm also sending one of my calendars with that as well, is Debbie Peters. So Debbie, I will get this off to you. Thank you so much for sharing, and for all the rest of you who shared. And then for placing an order, anytime you place an order, you also get put into a drawing. If your order is under $150, good morning, Tammy. Anytime it is under $150, if you could use the host code that you see at the bottom of the screen, then you would get entered into a drawing as well. If it's over $150, don't put that code in because you will get your own benefits, but I will still enter you into my drawing. So receiving this stamp set, Trees for Sale. Oops, there's a little bit of a glare there, which the person that's winning this has a little dog in it. Whoops, I'm on the wrong side. Here we go. Has a little dog. Everything's backwards for me. Has a little dog in it. So I think she's going to love this. And also getting one of my calendars is Sarah Markwart. So Sarah, I will go ahead and get this off in the mail to you. Congratulations, and thank all of you who ordered from me this week. Some of you took advantage of those specials that were going on and got some pretty good deals on things. I honestly, because I've been out of town, I have not even had a chance to check to see what is out and what is in anymore. I'm going to try to do that today. along with cleaning my stamp room. If you can see my stamp room in the back, it is a disaster and it needs to be cleaned. I'm bringing in new product because my my pre-order arrived. So you're going to get a chance to see something new today with a fun fold, but we're also going to do our 12 weeks of Christmas thing. So I'm going to switch my camera and I'm going to show you the other products. I'm going to turn my overhead light off. I'm going to show you the other products that I had in my creative escape. So this box right here is called an Impossible Box. And Julie DiMatteo, who her website is The Paper Pixie, is the person who I got this from. She did it, I think, 3 years ago, and I redid it with some papers. So for my creative escape, people got a half a pack of the Sweet Christmas paper along with the ribbon, and they got sequins with their order, and they've got some of this glimmer paper. And so all of the projects use that, and so I ended up cutting their stuff from their paper that they would have received. So this just slides up like this, and then there is Bath & Body Works. This is a full 8-ounce bottle. Now on her website, she also has the directions for how to do this for the smaller size bottles. So if this is something you're interested in, I didn't demo this one because you can find it online at her website, and she does a very good job in her video. It's called Impossible, but it really isn't that impossible to make it, I didn't think. So that was that one project. We did the boozy box. We did the calendars. We did the gift card holder with the gnome. This was the other gift card holder. So they got 2 gift card holders was part of this. So this is a little envelope that has that, I think it's called Lights Aglow or something. And then the Christmas banners. So that was one gift card. And then we did 4 tags. So you saw this tag already. I did this on one of my Facebook Lives or YouTube Lives. This is another one that's very, very simple, but easy to attach to a gift. It has the to and the from on the back of it. This one uses the same die that I used this one with. I put a little window sheet in this one and a little bit of designer paper behind it. And then that is some glimmer white that has that snowflake. And then we just put Merry Christmas on it. Now, if you wanted to, you could make this a shaker card and throw a little glitter or something in there and make it shake. I didn't do that with this one, but you easily could. It has the to and the from on the back. And then this is the other die that's in that set, and you can get those discounted right now. Like I said, I don't know if they're still left or not, but they were discounted, I believe. And this just has those mittens, and then the to and the from is on the inside and can easily be tied either to a bag of some goodies that you made or to a gift box or gift bag. So those were the 4 tags, the other gift card, and the other 3D item. Okay, our first project, I don't think I have anything. People congratulating everybody. That's awesome. Our first project is going to be from our 12 weeks of Christmas. And we're getting so close to Christmas that I thought, if you haven't started your Christmas cards yet, maybe you want to look at New Year's. So our project today is going to be a New Year's card rather than a Christmas card, because not everybody gets their Christmas cards out on time. And maybe you have a little bit more time now and want to worry about getting your cards done for sending them out for New Year's. So our card base is going to be basic black, and we are going to sparkle with this card. Okay, this is going to be a gatefold, but the gatefold isn't in the middle. It's off to the side. Okay, so I'm starting with 5.5 by 8.5. Oops, sorry. I'm going to score this at 2 3/4 and at 7. So that this is 4 1/4 in here. I have a little piece over here, and I have a bigger piece over here. Looks like I'm a little bit, oh, maybe not too bad. Looks like I was a little bit blurry again on Facebook, but it's not too bad. So good morning, Mary Stamp and Kay. I'm going to go ahead. This is our base. We are going to be using some of the, I keep saying Lights Aglow, but I don't think that that's right. I don't think I have my pack of paper here. I thought I had it here. I have such a mess. I don't know what I have where right now, to be honest with you. But this paper is gone. But if you have it, look at how pretty that is. Okay, so there is some Very Vanilla and this really bright gold in here. So this piece right here measures 2.5 by 5.25. And then I just went 1/8 of an inch smaller. So this would be 2 3/8 by 5 1/8. And that's going to be layered and go on the left side of our gatefold. And then this was 1.5. So this is going to be 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And then this will be 1 1/8 by 5 1/8. So I'm just making it that 1/8 of an inch, and that's going to go over here. Isn't that paper just stunning? It's so, like, I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see all the gold fleck in there. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Then we have a glimmer pack that had green, and I think this might be out too. It had green and it had Very Vanilla and it had this gold glimmer paper. Oh, isn't that stunning? This is 3.5 by 3 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. Okay, that's what that one is. Then I took some black, and this is 3 and I think this is 3 3/8 by, this might be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I have to look at my thing. I didn't print it today. But what I did was there are dies. So I took this die and I put that in there to cut out all of those little holes. Isn't that cool? Look at what that looks like when you put that behind that gold glimmer paper. And those holes, that glimmer paper comes shining through those holes. And then the other thing that I did, because this just leaves a hole in there, is I took this die and I cut that out of the middle as well. Okay, so I have this. Now I want to have some voting here to see what you like better. I actually cheated a little bit and I have two things to show you. We could either bring that white in, that Very Vanilla, and put our Happy New Year with the Very Vanilla, or our other option is to do it in black that we took out of there, and I ended up embossing that and putting the Happy New Year. So do you like the embossed, the black embossed, or do you like the Very Vanilla and the black text, which I'll straighten this out a little bit when I put it on there. Okay, so I want you to vote right now while we're putting the rest of this card together. So just say vanilla or black, I guess would be your options. That would be the easiest way to vote. And I'll look on YouTube and I will look on Facebook. So I'm just going to quickly layer these. Oh, I did have a layer of Very Vanilla for the inside and a little 1/2 inch strip of this paper to also go on my inside layer. All right, vanilla, vanilla, black. All right, we got vanilla. People like the vanilla. And we'll go ahead and put this strip on. Thank you for all of you who are joining in the little input of how we should, what color we should put in the middle with for our greeting. This is a really, really quick and easy fun fold. It's different because most gatefolds have the opening right in the center. So this just makes it look a little bit different than your normal gatefold. All right, I'm going to take that vanilla layer that I had for the inside. And I thought I had a little strip of the designer paper. Let me see if I can find some. I do have some here. Just gonna cut a real quick strip. Thought I did this already, but I didn't. I'm gonna go a 1/2 inch. And we'll do it by 4. Since the other ones are the long way, sometimes doing it the opposite way and doing it horizontal adds a little bit of difference to the inside. So we'll go ahead and add that to the bottom of our card. Ooh, vanilla with gold embossed words instead of black is what Mary is saying. Do we want to try that? How many would like to see that? Very vanilla with gold embossed. Vanilla, vanilla, black. Vanilla, 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 vanilla. If you think you would want to see the vanilla with the gold embossed, let me know, because we can take a look at that as well. All right, and this is just going to go on the inside. I didn't put a greeting on the inside so that I could write something. So maybe you got a Christmas card from somebody or you got a Christmas gift from somebody and you just want to send them a little New Year's greeting or a little thank you to go along with it. You could have the Happy New Year's on the outside, excuse me, outside, and write that thank you on the inside. Yes, gold embossed on the Very Vanilla. Okay, let's see here. I got to find my dies in all of this mess here, but I think they're in the stamp set, which I have to find as well, because I have a lot of stamp sets, ladies. It's kind of sad. I shouldn't have that many, but I do. Here is my stamp set. Brightness Glow. Oh no, my die is right here. It's right in front of me. Were you yelling at me? All right, let's get our little, we're doing this on the fly. I only have 2 projects today, so we can do this on the fly a little bit. All right, let's take some Very Vanilla cardstock. Actually, let's stamp and emboss it first. I'm going to just make sure this is clean. Love my chamois. All right, we're going to take our Versamark. And we're going to stamp that. I do have the gold embossing powder here. See, I was prepared a little bit for something different. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, I don't have my heat tool at my desk, so I do have to run over to the other side, which is why I always do through the magic of TV. But we're winging it today, so I'm going to go and quickly heat emboss this. I'm heat embossing, so I'll be right back. Okay, so that looks pretty good. You can read that pretty well. Let's bring our stamp and cut and emboss machine. I've got my little one going on here so that you can see. So we're going to put this plate down, and then we need 2 of our cutting plates. Look at, I was cutting those little black circles yesterday. When I'm just sitting at my desk, I don't always go to the big one if this is sitting right there. So I'm going to go ahead and center that. Put that over the top. All right. Here's our off-white one, our Very Vanilla with our gold embossed. I'm just going to set this on the floor for right now. Deal with that when I'm cleaning later. All right, so there is Very Vanilla. Ooh, with that golden gloss. Good idea, Mary. All right, let's go ahead and put this together. Love it. I love it when you guys get a chance to share. All right, so let's go ahead and Aunt Dorothy, you're tuning in late, but you didn't miss a whole lot because we did prizes and all of that at the very beginning. So I'm not putting any glue in where those dots are. You can kind of see I'm staying off to the side a little bit because I don't want glue to be oozing through there. But you do have to put enough glue to hold it onto this glimmer paper. But what's nice about the glimmer paper that Stampin' Up! Has is sometimes in the past we did have glimmer paper where every time you brought it out you were wearing glitter everywhere because the glitter would come off of the paper. This stuff stays on there. Like you can't get, even if you take your fingernail and run it over there, you can't get glitter to come off of this. So it is nice that way. All right, that is going to go right in there. Oh, I like that, Mary. I like it a lot. Great idea. So we're going to go ahead and throw some glue in there. Now you could pop it up, but I'm just afraid if I pop it up, I'm not sure what that's going to do. I think it's nice to be able to see that gold through there. So I think I'm just going to leave it down so that you can see those that little gold fleck coming through the circles. Oh, I got disconnected. There we go. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know how long I was gone. But I love how that looks, how you can see the gold dots or the gold through those little dots of the greeting as well. All right. Then this is going to go here, and I'm going to raise that up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw my dimensionals where my gatefold is here. And then I'm going to put them on my left side. I do right where the gatefold is because then I know that I'm going right up to the edge and it'll be nice and secure there. But if I do it, try to do that on here, I might go over a little bit and then that causes problems. So, okay, so someone asked me, where do you put all your stuff? Because I said I have my dimensionals. This is a mug I got from some of my friends when we went up to our cottage. You make the world a better place. So that just sits on my desk, and I put any scraps that are just on my desk, I throw in there. And then every once in a while, I just empty it out. So that's where I put my dimensional backings when I take them off. Okay, this looks so good, Mary, the way you suggested doing it. Okay, so Happy New Year. And then there's a place for us to just write that message to the person. Now, nice fancy card like this. Whoops, I have my little gold cord here. Did you see this little gold trim here? We're just going to tie a little bow. This stuff is so easy to tie a little bow with that I don't even really need that bow maker that I use because it's super, super easy to just tie one, just tie a bow and cut off our little edges here. Okay, and I think I'm just going to put that down here because I don't want the little tails to go into where it says Happy New Year. So I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm just going to flip that off and put that right where I want the bow to go. And then press the knot of that bow right into that glue dot to hold it in place. There we go. That just adds a little bit of something to that with that little bow on there. Just want to get this tail a little bit There we go. And now let's go ahead and take some of that paper and design up our envelope a little bit. How pretty would that be to get that on the outside before you even open up the card? How stunning, right? The paper does all the work in this, really. Between this paper having that gold in it and that glimmer paper behind all of those little dots. Doesn't take much to make it look pretty fancy. And I'll go ahead and trim around here. Now, if you have another saying that you have from another stamp set or something that you would like to put in there, you could always do that as well. Like if it's going to be a thank you, you could end up putting a thank you on the inside. I always like to leave it blank because I never know what I'm going to send it for. Like I know it says Happy New Year's, but am I thanking somebody? Am I sending them best wishes, thinking of you? Whatever the case might be, I can always add a greeting to the inside. So there is our offset gatefold card and matching envelope ready to go to send somebody to wish them greetings at the beginning of our new year. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean all of this up, get some of this stuff out of the way. Oh, we're going to do a sneak peek. I'm going to give you the dimensions. Or see, I have this all ready to go to load up when we're done here. We are going to be doing another fun fold card. And this is going to be a sneak peek of products from our catalog. And this, I put this up here, so if you want to take a picture of it, I am going to cut this one with you so that you can see exactly what I mean by the directions that are there. So we're going to use almost a full piece of cardstock. We're going to be cutting parts of it away that we can then use for other parts of our card. But those are the dimensions. Let me come ahead and I'll come back to you and we'll go ahead and do our cutting. Now, before I do the cutting, actually, let me set this aside. I'm going to show you the suite of products that I'm using. So as demonstrators, we were able to start ordering anything from the upcoming catalog on December 1st. So I ordered, oh gosh, way too much. It was Merry Christmas to Sarah when I ordered. This again is our new mini catalog. And when I placed my order, I got some of the catalogs like this, and I also got the Celebration one. So one of the things I'm going to be working on today is getting those all off in the mail to those of you who are my customers. If you normally do not get a catalog from me and you would like one of these catalogs or the Celebration, send me an email and I will make sure that I get that off in the mail to you. So this paper is called Country Floral Lane. And my friend Lisa and my friend Kathy and I are working together for an event that's coming up in January. And we're doing 2 suites of products and we're making displays for them. So I wanted to start like kind of playing with this a little bit. So we're using this side of the paper. So we've got this sheet and then there's like petal pink on the back. Look at these fun flowers in here. And if we look at the back, more hearts. Okay, so this is kind of a Valentine's-y set. Look at these bikes with the little baskets of flowers. How cute is that? And then on the back side, it's just some blues to go with it. So we've got some real neutral and some bolder prints. Love this. And there's some more balmy blue. Okay, so there's balmy blue, there's mint macaron, there's sweet sorbet, petal pink, mossy meadow, and mint macaron. I think I said mint macaron. Now look at this stamp set, or this paper has a punch that can punch all of those things out. Is that not cool? We're not using this today, but I wanted to bring that to your attention just to get you excited about some upcoming product. Okay, we got some stripes going on here, some more hearts with mint macaron and balmy blue, and then a sheet of sweet sorbet hearts. So pretty. I just love loved this paper in the catalog. So we're going to be playing with this today. Now wait, there is more paper to go with it. There is a 6x6 pack of, it's called Country Gingham, and it has all of those colors and different gingham patterns. So we're going to be using this pattern instead of just the plain gingham. And then there's mint macaron on the back. Look at that, mint macaron and sweet sorbet. And then we get a little bit further in, and we've got petal pink, and we've got some of the balmy blue. So there are lots and lots of sheets of this paper for you to use on your cards. So I just loved this. Sweet. Lisa, I'm so glad you picked this one. I don't know if you're on here or not, but Lisa's the one that picked this one, and I just absolutely love it. This is the stamp set, Country Bouquet. We're going to use this stamp and this stamp. So this is flowers and hearts, and these are some petals that go with it, that when you stamp those together, it's two-step stamping. It makes this beautiful heart that we're going to use on our card today. But there's Happy Valentine's Day. I wasn't ready for Valentine's Day when we haven't done Christmas yet, so I didn't make mine Valentine's. I just had I love that we are friends on this one. And then it also has ribbon. Oh, look at this, burlap ribbon and some red ribbon. This is really nice and thin. Makes them really nice. I always have to tie a bow right away. And I guess I didn't put the bow in here that I tied, but it does tie really, really nice bows. I did practice with that. Okay, so that is the product. There are also some gems, and I thought I threw those in here. We're using some different gems because of the colors that I needed, but there are some sequins that are pink and blue and gold that go with this, and I don't know where I put them. I thought I had them in here, but I guess I didn't. Oh no, here they are. Look at that. I just have to dig a little bit deeper. So some pink and petal pink and some balmy blue and some gold sequins. And there's 2 sheets inside of one of these. So pretty cool that that all comes together. So that is the suite of products. I'm going to bring my trimmer back in here so that I can show you this cut. So I have done a cut similar to this, where you take a sheet of paper and you score it in half both ways. So I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Make sure I'm using my scoring tool. And I'm going to score it at 5 1/2. Okay, now the ones that I've done in the past, I've just taken and I've cut from one corner to the other corner. And then it gave me 2 cards that had some different folds. I'm going to do this card is just a little bit different than that. So I've got my upper left. Actually, if I fold it, this is the way that I would fold it. So I have my upper left, I have my upper right, I have my lower left, and my lower right. So in my scoring or in my directions, it talks about each of these. So it says in the upper left, I have to cut this out completely. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in here at 5 1/2. And I'm going to use my cutting blade and cut up to that score line. And there's a little line there that shows me that I'm there. And then I'm going to put this in at 4 1/4. And I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so I just cut that upper left piece completely off. Okay, then it tells me in my upper right piece, I have to cut from the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner. So I'm just going to line this corner in my little track, and I'm going to line that tip in my track. So once I have those put in my track, I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off. Okay, then it tells me in my lower left, I have to cut from this lower piece, lower left, to the upper right. So I'm going to put this in the track. I'm going to put this corner in the track, which I know this seems like it's a lot of cutting, but the card turns out really, really cool. I really loved how the card turned out. Whoops. Let me get my blade down here. Right, so now I have these pieces to cut. I've got some layering parts that I'm going to do, and I use these scraps to do that. Okay, this card is going to fold down this way. I'm going to give that a good burnish. And then it's going to fold over. It looks like I have to trim a little bit. I didn't do a very good job of getting that right on the edge. You can even see some of my score line is still there. So I'm just going to follow with my scissors right on that score line. You do have to make sure you put it in your trimmer at the right spot. I did not, obviously. So I'm just going to trim. There we go, where that score line was. That was easy enough to do. So that's going to fold down that way, and then this one is going to fold over, and we're going to burnish that. So it's like we're making something that looks like a crossover envelope. Isn't that cool? So it opens this way and opens back up that way. All right. With this bigger piece, I ended up cutting out the largest of our scalloped circles. So these are from our layering circles. I also cut out, in the circle that's smaller, I cut out this petal pink, and look at that embossing on there. This is from the Park Regency, I think is the name of the suite, and this is called the Cane Weave 3D embossing folder. And I thought it would look really good with our gingham that we're using with our paper. Okay, so that's going to layer right on top of there. I have two pieces, so I cut one piece from the one stack of paper, and this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And what we're going to do is bring our trimmer back in. This is going to be our front piece, so I need to cut it from the upper left to the lower right. Get that in the camera here instead of off to the side. All right, so that's going to go here. Now, this is upside down if I put it this way, so I can't reuse this, but I could cut something out here, or I could cut one of these hearts out and use it for something. I could cut a little strip of something here if I wanted to. So I do not throw this away. I will use this somehow. Okay, and then my gingham one was the exact same size. So it was 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This one I cut, but that one I can flip and use on both cards. Okay, so I've got the gingham paper and I have that heart paper. Isn't that, and then look at this. Oh, and we're just going to take some basic white. I'll stick that in there so you can kind of see what that's going to look like. Can you see how this card is coming together? Oh, I just love this paper. Let's do some stamping and then we will put this all together. So I have a scrap of white, basic white. This is going to be for the inside of my card. And I have a scrap of that sweet sorbet. I'm going to set these pieces aside with my other stuff. All right, we are going to use, like I said, that heart set that was in there. We're going to use a couple of the greetings. Now, I wanted to show you what I did. So if we look at this paper, and we look at this heart, we're going to kind of be duplicating that or replicating that a little bit. Now, notice that there's two different colors. There's a pink, and there's a sweet sorbet, and there's the petal pink. And then there's the mint macaron and the mossy meadow in the petals. And I'm like, oh crap, how am I going to do that? Because I only have the one stamp for the heart and the flowers, and I have the one stamp for all of those little leaves. Well, what you do if you want to make it two-toned is you take your lightest of the two colors. So I'm going to use petal pink, is lighter than the sweet sorbet. And so I'm going to ink that up with petal pink. And then I'm going to take in my Stampin' Write marker for my Sweet Sorbet, and I'm just going to color over some of the flowers and the hearts that I want to make with the red color. So I'm just going to go ahead and color over a few of the flowers and a few of the hearts that I want to make the Sweet Sorbet. So it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't have to match the ones that are in the paper exactly. Each one of my cards is a little different because I just picked different flowers and different hearts to color in. So each card is going to look a little bit different. But one thing to note is that if you are making multiples of this card, you will want to clean your stamp in between each one because you don't want to get that Sweet Sorbet ink that might be left on the stamp into your Petal Pink ink. It'll muddy your inks. And so you do want to make sure. I've got a bunch of them done. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to huff on this. Not cough on it, but huff on it to kind of moisten those inks up again so that you get a nice coverage of those hearts and those flowers. All right, now I'm going to do the exact same thing with the green. I'm going to go into the Mint Macaron. So I'm going to ink it up with Mint Macaron. Then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to choose the Mossy Meadow. Whoops, I want to use this end. And just color over some of the leaves to make them just a little bit darker. So I did sort of these bigger leaves that all kind of look the same. And I did a couple of leaves down there and one up here and a couple over there. So you can just decide where you want to add just a little more color. Again, I'm going to huff on it. And now I just have to match it up. You can kind of see right in here is the opening for that flower. And so that's where I kind of always lined my stuff up. I wanted to make sure that there were no flowers on top of anything that I was going to be stamping. And then I just set it down. And I have a heart. Isn't that cool? Now, there isn't a die to cut this out, and I wanted it cut out. So I am just going to fussy cut around this, which was super, super easy to do. I was going to make my circle just in this white. I played around a lot with this one because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And you know, it's brand new stamp set, so you got to get everything inked up and kind of figure out what you're going to do with it. And it finally came together after playing with it for just a little bit. Okay, so I've got that heart. And then I wanted to bring the Sweet Sorbet for one of my greetings. And so again, I'm going to bring in some Versamark. We're going to do a little embossing again. Just want to say is what we're going to do on the outside. And we're going to use some of our white embossing powder this time. So we used gold before. And now we're using some of our white. Okay, someone asked me, where do you get your little things for your embossing powder? I just got those at Target years ago. And I have some embossing powder. I'm just going to grab my vacuum here real quick and pick that up. Okay. All right. Otherwise, I'm going to have white powder everywhere. You would heat set this in one of our die sets, new die sets that we have with a bunch of sayings is this die. And this just wanted to say fits perfectly in there. So through the magic of TV, I have that done. And I will heat set that later and use it for another card. I might use this for a swap. I'm not quite sure yet. All right. Then I think we're ready. We're going to stamp one thing on here in some Sweet Sorbet ink because it says I just wanted to say. So we've got to say something on the inside. And what I'm going to say is I love that we are friends. And I wanted to bring that petal pink into the inside. And so there are some stamps that had just some fun little hearts. And so I'm just going to stamp a few of those around on the inside. All right, now I think we are ready to put this card together. It really goes together pretty fast once you have everything stamped and ready to go. So let's start with our inside. We'll go ahead, and I did actually cut a little piece of strip of paper. And now I should have put that on there before I stamped those hearts, but that's okay. I think it's going to work. We'll go ahead and attach that. When I made it last night, I had that strip on there, and I had the greeting, and then I'm like, oh, it needs something else. So then I added the hearts. So this is just a 1/2-inch strip of the paper, and I cut it the long way this time instead of the short way, and that's just going to go right inside. And the reason I did the long way is I didn't want to chance any of that sticking out here. So when this comes down, that circle is going to cover that. I didn't want like a little bit of the paper hanging out here. And so I decided to put it on this side where it won't hang out. Okay, this is going to go on this flap. Most of you can probably figure out how I'm going to be putting this together. Okay, looks like I did not do a very good job of cutting this here. I may have to put that in my paper trimmer. It might drive me crazy. Oh no, I think I did an okay job there. All right, then on the front, we're going to put our hearts. All right, and then I'm going to layer that embossed layer. Now you could either do the debossed or you can do the embossed. It doesn't matter. Both of them actually look pretty nice on there. So there's just a little of that red coming out the side. And then we're going to put that heart that we cut, we're going to raise that up on some dimensionals. And set my dimensionals somewhere. There we go. I think I did a better job of cutting my heart last night than I did this morning. I don't know. My sample looks a little bit nicer than this one does. This one looks okay. It just looks a little rugged there a little bit. Then I just wanted to say is going to go right across the center there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the center. And then I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals here. And then over on the side. I just want to make sure that I don't accidentally get them on any part that they shouldn't be. Now I felt, oh, just wanted to say I love that we are friends. I just loved this. Okay, now I felt like it just needed a little bit of bling. And so I didn't feel, I thought that the sequins were a little bit big for what I wanted to use it for. So I just wanted to put some of these iridescent pearls. These are my favorite, absolute favorite embellishment. I just wanted to put some of these tiny ones in the center of some of these flowers, just to add a little bit of bling. All right, so there is our first sneak peek of one of the suites in the new catalog. That floral heart with a little bit of a fun fold. Now, I thought that I would give you, so here was my other sample that I made last night. I also was playing around with another suite. So this one is the, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to make sure I'm not on camera because I can't open it up on I can't show you the inside of the catalog yet. So I just want to make sure that I give you the correct name. This is called Fancy Flora Suite, and the paper is called Fancy Flora. And these label dies came right where this label die came from. Okay, so this is another new paper. Looks like those little like painted brush strokes. This is the front and the back of the paper. May the good you do come back to you. Thank you. So that same fold with two of our newer papers coming out and new product coming out in the new January through April catalog. And then here was our New Year's card that we made with our matching envelope. I do have a matching envelope that we can make for this one. I took some of that gingham paper. You could also take some of this paper if you wanted to. I just thought you got to worry about which side is the correct side. When you use that one, the gingham paper, you don't really have to worry because it's not, you don't have to worry about which direction you're going in. So I thought it's just as easy to do the gingham paper. And with it being 6 by 6, it's already the width that you need, and you just have to trim just a little bit off. So we'll trim around there to get ourselves a matching envelope, because I always like to give the winners of my cards matching envelopes so that their cards are ready to go in the mail when they decide to mail them off to someone. So there we go. We've got a matching envelope with our card, matching envelope with this card, and here's a little bonus one that I threw in there as well for you to see a little bit more of some of the other upcoming product that will be available in January. All right. Oh, I have missed comments. So, thanks, Diane. Thanks, Kelly. Yeah, that is a fun fold. I'm just kind of catching up on comments. Mary, I did like it a lot. Oh, thanks for saying that you like the heart card. I just thought it was different. I mean, still has floral, but it has the heart. The florals are in the shape of a heart, which is a little bit different. And it doesn't necessarily have to just be Valentine's. I wanted to kind of show that you could use it for Valentine's if you want to. There's a lot of really cute ways you could use it for Valentine's cards, but it definitely has that country feel. Sandy, thanks for watching for the first time. Where are you from? I am from Wisconsin, and it's a little bit snowy here this morning. So I don't think I have to shovel, but it's a little bit snowy. All right. I don't think that there were any other comments. I will plan to be live next week. Is my last week of the 12 weeks of Christmas because it is the week before Christmas Eve. And next week I'm going to focus on thank you because that's what comes next, right? All of our Christmas stuff is sort of done. And now it's time to start thinking of thank you. So we're going to do a wintry themed thank you next week for our 12 weeks of Christmas. Yeah, Linda. Oh, I was so excited. I ended up doing 2-day air. Oh, from Marshfield, Wisconsin. Well, thanks for joining us, Sandy. Um, I um I did 2-day air on my pre-order because I'm in several swaps, more swaps than I probably should. But I also have the week between Christmas and New Year's off this year. And I plan to just do a ton of stamping. I have my friend Kathy and Lisa are coming over on the 26th and the 27th. Or I might be going to Kathy's. We haven't figured all that part out yet, but we are definitely getting together to work on those displays and work on some of our swaps and things like that. I have one swap that's due the end of the month. The rest are due like in January. So I have a lot of work ahead of me, but it's fun work. I am from Appleton, Sandy, Appleton, Wisconsin. So awesome. So I hope that you have a great day. I know it's probably one of those days where you're going to have to be doing a lot of work to get ready for Christmas because it is only 2 weeks away. I know I have to wrap some gifts and I have one gift that I have to get yet. And I have to figure something else out for somebody. I have a few things that I want to make for some people at work. And I have to order some cheese that has to get out in the mail to some people that live out of state. So there's a lot of stuff to do, but it's a Saturday and I have tomorrow as well. So anyhow, thank you so much for joining me this morning, supporting my little small business that I've got going on here. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a wonderful Saturday, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.